The documents related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy were released on Tuesday evening following an order by President Donald Trump. There is one thing that still stands out, and it is a letter, a handwritten one by Kennedy's son, John F. Kennedy Jr., to former President, then a Senator, Joe Biden.
I'm in trouble.
In the letter, JFK Jr. says, "Dear Senator Biden, you are a traitor."
What is going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and yes, there was a huge file dump last night of the JFK files via Donald Trump. There will allegedly be more released today. There are several things gleaned from these files, including several foreign governments who appear, at least in my opinion, to have been involved at some level, including both Israel, Russia, and perhaps Cuba. And for me, the TLDR is these files and the ones I'm going to show you seem to have solidified the idea that it was intelligence agencies that took out JFK. That's my opinion. I'm going to show you the evidence. I'm going to show you why I think that way. You let me know. You guys know I'm pretty level-headed. I'm not this group of people bad, that bad guy. I'm pretty even-keeled. But there's definitely some interesting stuff in these files worth discussing. And again, there's more coming today. So if you get a chance, please do leave a like on this video. Subscribe down below. And I short-circuited there for a second. And yeah, so let's get into this. By the way, speaking of Donald J. Trump, I am fundraising to build a new studio where we can look a little more professional and we can bring people in and stuff like that. How am I doing it? With another hilarious meme cookbook. This cookbook is going to be close to 100 recipes, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, coffees, teas, all sorts of stuff. And they're all going to have a meme twist to them, like all of my other cookbooks that you guys loved. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Please pre-order the book. You can also get the bundle. You can get signed copies. 100% of proceeds go towards me helping build the new studio, which I really, really need. We've outgrown this one massively, and so I definitely need your help with that. Those should ship before the end of April. Lawmakers cheer Trump's JFK files release, restoration of people's trust. Several Republicans and Democrats praised the move. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are praising Trump administration's release of the government documents on JFK. The National Archives released a tranche of some 80,000 pages late Tuesday night, part of a long-standing promise of Donald Trump to declassify information on the historic event. And there did not appear to be any revelatory information on the initial release. Representative Steve Cohen of Tennessee, a progressive Democrat who co-sponsored the legislation to publicize the Kennedy files, was among who praised the move. It's too soon to know whether or not the documents released today, what's in them, but it's a good sign that some progress towards the goal of full disclosure is underway. Cohen said Tuesday night, the JFK in the 60s need to be understood in their full historical context, and the documents released may help us get there. Republicans were more enthusiastic in their praise, including House GOP Oversight Chairman James Comer. He also praised Representative Anna Paulina Luna of Florida, whom he tapped lead a task force aimed at getting other critical government records declassified. Now, there has been, I guess, Trump, I saw a story that Trump actually released these, and like the intelligence community was scrambling because they weren't quite ready for it. That'd be very Trump. It sounds like Trump just said, look, you guys already screwed the pooch on the Jeffrey files. Let's get these out there. I'm going to go through. There are several key things people are taking away from these files, including connections to Israel, information about Lee Harvey Oswald in particular, as well as calls that law enforcement got warning them of this happening that they clearly ignored. We now know the origination of they were on the FBI's radar started back around JFK. Also some meetings that he had with Russia. So you have to understand what was going on at the time. There was some, the Bay of Pigs, Cuba, Russia, all this stuff was going on at the time. So there's a lot of people involved. It's still my opinion that our intelligence agencies are the one that carried it out, but I suspect they were working with others. Here is some interesting posts. The CIA requested that any mentions of Israel be redacted in the JFK files. Israel is literally the only thing they're requesting to be redacted. You see a lot of these things. On the side, it says, has no objection to declassification except what was in brackets. Now, you see here, Israeli intelligence service is not in brackets. So I'm not sure how they're making that, again, except brackets. Oh, here you see these are marked with brackets. From Russia to Russia via Israel, that's in brackets. The Israeli intelligence agency here is in brackets. This is also in brackets too. I couldn't see it underneath the red. So, this document here, dated January 13th, 1967, is clearly asking for any mentions of the Israeli intelligence service and or Russia to be redacted. Here you have Israeli, redacted, Israeli. Again, no objection to declassification except for connections to Israel. Now, that is obviously suspicious. I don't think it goes all the way into saying they're the ones that did it, but I would hear you out saying that we worked with them to do it. Why would they want to hide this? I guess, if anybody's still alive from 1954, here you have other documents from 1954 where they are, also redacting JFK, stuff like that, any connections to him. It's questionable. To me, this further proves that you have probably the CIA or some intelligence agency in the United States that orchestrated this whole thing, in my opinion. You see, the CIA does not object to declassification information except Israeli intelligence service. That is a fact. That's in the documents. I also shared this document here. Let's talk about, so that's the Israel stuff. Hold on, there's more. Then there's Cuban stuff. I mean, they were all working together, in my opinion. I want to make sure I get this other Israeli connection here because it's an important one. Here, I posted it myself just not that long ago. So here's this document. I don't know, the page 3, number 336. Here, you have an introduction saying a point here saying, for the information of all offices concerned, 265, advised on November 26, 1963, that he had heard that one, Trey Moore, allegedly had been attempting to negotiate a sale of weapons to somebody else, and that Eshivera, which perhaps they bought the weapons from the Israelis, Eshivera allegedly had made a comment on that day before the assassination of John F. Kennedy that, quote, "We have plenty of money. Our new backers are Jews. As soon as we or they take care of Kennedy." So so he's saying this is hearsay. This is somebody saying what somebody else said. Okay, I'm trying to present this fairly, but they didn't say Africans. They didn't say Australians. They didn't say Egyptians. They didn't say Syrians. They didn't even say Russians. They said Jews. Now, could there have been people in America who were Jewish that were backing this and had nothing to do with Israel? It's possible. It's possible. This document has been out since 1967, and this is just what somebody said. Now let's get to what Gary Underhill. Clinton Russell wrote, "Stick with me on this. Many of these people believe that Israel took out JFK, and these docs add fuel to this theory for sure. What I can't figure out is Israel was founded in 1948. JFK gets taken out in 1963. How does a small country in the Middle East build a relationship so deep with the most powerful country on earth that they can take out a sitting president in a foreign country and then get country's top intel agency to cover up for it? You pulled all that off in just 15 years of existence. It just seems impossible. I feel like I'm missing something. That's a fair question. You could ask Mr. Jeffrey how he got all, governments how to do certain things, in my opinion. Now, Gary Underhill was another interesting story. This is also not a brand new bombshell. Gary Underhill reveals a small clique within the CIA was responsible for the actions on JFK, and then he was afraid for his life. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found in his apartment with a wound behind his ear that was ruled self-inflicted. But the wound was behind his left ear, and he was right-handed. So you would have had to reach around to do it. Why would you do that? You would just do this, right? Quote, the day after the incident, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at a small home of his friends in New Jersey. He was very agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for what happened to JFK. He confided that he was afraid for his life and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found dead. Yeah. Seems to track for me. We also see here some of the other more notable but less notable things is JFK called Joe Biden a traitor, I believe, which is pretty hilarious. People seem to think CIA orchestrated the whole thing, which is where I'm at. There are links to Mossad and Israel, which I just showed you. Ties to Khazarian mafia. Now let's talk about that. So we have some ties to Russia. Razorfist posts, most conspiracy theories around JFK are an elaborate attempt to circumnavigate the fact that Soviet Russia ordered the assassination of a sitting president at the height of the Cold War, no less, and got away with it because LBJ was scared of World War III. You see this, Lee Harvey Oswald met with the KGB officer in charge of, quote, wet jobs just 3 weeks before President Kennedy was assassinated. Also in the documents, Lee Harvey Oswald was had notably bad aim, just like what they said about Mr. Crooks in Butler, PA. Isn't that funny? Upon learning about the JFK incident, Cuban diplomats immediately assumed the CIA did it for the purpose of finishing what had started with the Bay of Pigs invasion. If the Yankees or CIA assassinated Kennedy to resume the assault on Cuba, then a third world war would start. One diplomat assumed the U.S. would try to blame Cuba. In a separate deposition, one American intelligence operative noted that multiple CIA assets connected to a particular CIA agent had been spreading most, quote, misinformation that Cuba was behind it in the immediate wake of JFK's murder. We have this guy, Sergei Seznorova or whatever. This is a guy who knew that Kennedy's life would be taken and knew it would happen in Dallas as well. Quote, I said Mr. Lee H. Oswald would be, this is the fall guy, a lot of people think, or the guy that did it, if you think that too. I'm not telling you what to think. He said, I said that Mr. Lee Harvey Oswald would lose his life after taking Kennedy's. I said, I will take the truth drug to tell the truth. This is some random Russian that knew about them cleaning up their mess. You also should know that somebody called the FBI hours before the incident and said, the FBI should do something because the same group likely took out Kennedy. The FBI got an anonymous call that somebody was going to take out Oswald just hours before his death, and the FBI did nothing, probably because they wanted it to be done. Now, there's going to be a lot more files come out today. Make sure you leave a like on this video and you subscribe to make sure that you don't miss that update. And please do consider pre-ordering Mega Mixology, my fundraiser to help build the new studio. I need about, 5,000 of you to order the book. But I just know you'll love it. And on our other summertime book, The Tailgates for Trump, is also on sale and the bundle's available. Help support us grow. We can have some on-site stuff, bring Hannah Claire and the other Melanie Mack and the crew for my live stream out. We can do more green screen stuff and all sorts of things to really take our show to the next level this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.